Hello and good day, welcome to our YouTube channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be a fast, concise overview. Book of Habakkuk, Chapter 3. Let's get started now. The Book of Habakkuk is a minor prophetic book in the Old Testament. Habakkuk was a prophet during the reign of King Jehoiakim of Judah, around 605 to 625 BC. The book is composed of 3 chapters and is unique because it is written as a dialogue between Habakkuk and God. Chapter 3 is a prayer of Habakkuk. In this chapter, Habakkuk acknowledges God's power and sovereignty and asks for his mercy and deliverance. Habakkuk begins by asking God to bring revival to his people and to remember his mercy in the midst of judgment. Habakkuk then describes a vision of God's power and might, recounting how God has delivered his people in the past. The vision that Habakkuk describes is a picture of God's power and might. He describes God coming in judgment against the nations, causing the mountains to tremble and the earth to shake. Habakkuk acknowledges God's control over all of creation, including the sea and its creatures. The prayer in chapter 3 is a testament to Habakkuk's faith in God. He acknowledges that even in the midst of judgment, God is still in control and still worthy of praise. Habakkuk ends his prayer by declaring his trust in God, even if the worst happens and he loses everything. The lesson we can learn from the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, is that we can trust in God's power and sovereignty, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. Habakkuk's prayer is a testament to his faith in God, even when it seemed like everything was falling apart. One of the day-to-day applications of this teaching is that we should trust in God's power and sovereignty in our own lives. We may face difficult circumstances and trials, but we can trust that God is in control and working all things for our good. We should turn to Him in prayer, like Habakkuk did, and ask for His mercy and deliverance. Another day-to-day application of this teaching is that we should remember God's mercy and faithfulness in the midst of judgment. Habakkuk acknowledges God's mercy in the past, even when his people were facing judgment. We should do the same, remembering how God has been faithful to us in the past and trusting that He will be faithful to us in the future. The prayer in chapter 3 also teaches us about the power and might of God. Habakkuk describes God as a warrior who comes to deliver his people and bring judgment against their enemies. He acknowledges that God is in control over all of creation, including the sea and its creatures. The lesson we can learn from this message is that God is powerful and mighty, and we should not underestimate His ability to deliver us from our enemies. We should trust in His power and might, knowing that He is in control over all of creation. One of the day-to-day applications of this teaching is that we should not be afraid of our enemies. We may face difficult circumstances and opposition, but we can trust in God's power to deliver us. We should not be afraid to stand up for what is right and to speak out against injustice, knowing that God is on our side. Another day-to-day application of this teaching is that we should acknowledge God's control over all of creation. We should be mindful of our impact on the environment and our responsibility to care for it. We should also recognize the importance of treating animals with kindness and respect. In conclusion, the Book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, teaches us about the power and sovereignty of God, His mercy and faithfulness, and His ability to deliver us from our enemies. We can apply these teachings to our daily lives by trusting in God's power and sovereignty, remembering His mercy and faithfulness, not being afraid of our enemies, and acknowledging His control over all of creation. By doing so, we can grow in our faith and relationship with God and become better examples of His love and grace to those around us. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.